Hey folks, Michael Ayala here with Legal View. I wanted to come to you and bring you a quick update and my take on the presser that took place this afternoon at the NAACP headquarters in Chicago, Illinois, on the death of Nolan Wells and the private autopsy that was done. The big takeaway today is very simple. The doctor could not come to any final conclusions, could not rule out foul play. There are a number of things that put up red flags, a couple of things that they want to make sure folks understand, but at the end of the day, could not rule out foul play due to a number of limitations, which I'll explain in just a little bit. Let me start off just by introducing you to the person who performed the autopsy. This is Dr. Roger Mitchell. He's a board certified pathologist. He's chief medical officer at Howard University currently. Also is the former chief medical examiner in Washington, D.C. Now, his main statement right off the top was the pathologist cannot rule out if any intervening non-accidental factor contributed to or were the cause of the death of Nolan Wells. So he couldn't come to a determination on the cause of death, and he couldn't come to a determination as to how Nolan Wells died. There are major questions, which I'll also get to in just a little bit, that he had in his notes, but that was the conclusion. But there were things to be very concerned about. He performed the autopsy on July 10th. Now remember, the Mississippi State Examiner's autopsy took place on the 7th. Nolan Wells disappeared on the 4th. He was found 2 days later on the 6th. The autopsy took place on the 7th. As far as the significant findings by Dr. Mitchell, the cause of death is undetermined pending further investigation. He noted that the date of the death could not be determined as well, based on the information on the body he had in front of him. He noted marked decomposition on the body, and that can obscure bruising. One of the things they were looking for, obviously, was any signs of fighting, any signs of defensive wounds, any wounds whatsoever. And because of the marked decomposition of the body, again, he received it many days after the body had been found. It's difficult to determine if there was any bruising. He made a point of saying that the brains and the organs had been removed from the body. This is normal procedure. So the initial autopsy, the medical examiner removed the organs. They obviously took tissue samples, sent those for toxicology reports. Those are not available at the moment. This particular autopsy did not do toxicology reports. It takes weeks, is my understanding, which is one of the reasons why the report that was done by the state medical examiner has not been released. Again, that was completed on the 7th, according to reports. But they have to wait, or they want to wait, for the toxicology reports to come back before releasing the autopsy results. So that's what we're waiting for as far as they're concerned. Now, this is an important part. Ben Crump, who ran the press conference, really wanted everyone to understand. He felt this was a significant development. I'm not 100% sure. The medical examiner found red discoloration when he cut into the back of the head, but he found no lacerations of the skin or fractures of the skull. Again, Ben Crump highlighted this, said this was important, something significant, and it could very well be. I do want to tell you from my experience, that redness in the back of the head could simply be caused by the body or the head laying on a slab, or when it's traveling, when it's sitting in the morgue, during the time it's being examined. It could very well be from that, especially when it's not accompanied with any lacerations or any fractures to the skull. But again, the doctor could not make a final determination and said there needs to be further investigation of it. He did cut into the skin, and again, didn't see any of that bruising on the skin or on the scalp or any lacerations. So it's something to keep an eye on, something to highlight. But again, not dispositive of any particular blunt force trauma or any kind of foul play here. The other interesting thing that Ben Crump wanted to highlight, and I think it's important to note, is that the inner neck structures were absent. And by that, this area here, It was pointed out the trachea, the hyoid bone, that throat structure was not included with the body. The doctor made a point of saying that this is, again, normal procedure, especially in instances where there may be some concern that there's an injury to the throat. So it's significant in this sense. The doctor could not evaluate it because he did not have it. But if the original medical examiner decided to keep it, there's a chance they might be concerned that there was some injury to the throat area. So that's important. Maybe they're continuing their investigation of that particular area of Nolan Wells' body because they're concerned that there might have been some form of injury to the throat area. So even though he couldn't make an evaluation, someone is right now, and we'll see how that turns out when the first autopsy is ultimately released by the state. So again, because he did not have that neck structure, that throat structure, he could not rule out that death was caused by some injury to the throat area. These were the findings by the doctor. Again, the takeaways are essentially this redness found to the back of the head, which was highlighted as being important. Could be caused by an injury, could be caused by blunt force trauma. There were no lacerations on the skin, no fractures to the skull. So that's important. Could be caused by just the body laying on a slab and the blood pools in that area and causes that redness. So that's a possibility as well. The neck structures, the trachea, hyoid bone, were not delivered with the body. So the state medical examiner who did the first autopsy is still investigating that area. So there could be some concern that may have been injured in some way or contributed to the cause of death. We do not know. And Dr. Mitchell could not tell because he did not have an opportunity to look at it. And finally, I think it's important to note that he could not rule out foul play. He cannot tell whether this was foul play, or whether there was just drowning, whether it was accidental. Not a lot of answers were garnered today. I think it raises even more questions. Why do they still have the throat? What's going on with the toxicology? What was in his stomach at the time he was found? Was there water in his lungs at the time he was found? Could not answer those questions with this second autopsy. All right, stay tuned to Legal View. We'll continue to follow this story. We'll bring you all the updates as they come in and the legal analysis that goes along with it. So thank you so much for watching and continue support, like, and subscribe if you appreciate the content that we do here. Thank you so much. Have a great day.